Welcome to Carp TV. You join me here down on my club lake in Kent. It's middle of January, it's freezing cold, as it always seems to be when I go fishing. I turned up yesterday, had a quick walk around the lake a couple of times. Nothing to go on, no one here. I don't think it's got particularly great winter form, but we're here, we're having a go, we've got the rods out. I've ended up in this swim here. I've fished here a few times over the years. I know the swim pretty well, and I do think there'll be a few fish tucked up in this corner where I'm fishing. I do a lot of winter fishing. I like being out in the winter, funny enough. I'm just going to talk you through a few tactics I use to hopefully bag a few carp in the cold weather. Right, this is a rig I'm using today. I use it on two of the rods. It incorporates a pop-up from Dynamite. It's been whittled down just to give it a little bit of a different appearance. It's a pineapple and tootie. It's like a multi-rig really, using the skinful from rigmarole and a stiff hook section. Right, rig mechanics on this rig, how I think it works, is it's got a nice little stiff section which sits perfectly, ready to hook fish, and it's got the nice supple bit of skinful braid that will sit on any bottom, because the bottom on this lake especially is really up and down with loads of chod and crap on the bottom. I've had a recent trip down to another lake I fish in Kent. It's winter ticket, and I turned up one day, didn't really know what to expect if I'm being honest. Walked around like I do. I happened to see a few fish sort of just cruising in. The water was really clear. They was just cruising in, and for some reason they was touching bottom in front of this tiny little swim that no one really fishes. And I watched them, 2 or 3 fish come in. One of them was quite a decent one. They sort of like left the area, but they wasn't using, there was marginal snags either side. They wasn't using the trees. I thought they'd be coming out the trees and coming in, but they was going into the open water, coming in, for some reason on this area, coming in, hitting the bottom, hanging around and then just swimming out. You know, I walked round, I thought there might be a better opportunity somewhere. So I walked round again. Every time I passed this swim, I could see fish. So went back to the van, got the gear, thought, got nothing else, brought the barra down, literally just put the rods together, cut the baits on. I put a tiny little 10p size bag of pellet on, complex T-hook baits. As soon as the fish sort of left the area, flopped them in the edge. They was 3 foot from the bank, slackened everything off, just laid the rods on the floor, and I just forgot about them. I thought, give it an hour, see what happens. Made myself a cup of tea, walked up and down the bank looking for fish, and I never saw another fish, to be honest. And I thought, I've got to move, nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden, the rods just click, zzz, on the floor, picked it up, played this fish in, good scrap, netted it. Yeah, it's 38 pounds odd. Fellow on the other side come and help me. Done some pictures, done some self-takes, and then put the fish back. I should have probably moved for the night, but I decided to stay in the same swim, thinking that they would return. I had another walk round, see some fish up the other end, had a cup of tea with my mate on the other side. Done the night, but nothing else really happened. Just going to talk to you now about what I use hook bait wise, and what I've been using on this session. What I tend to do is I've got a Ronnie rig on one of the rods, and I'll put one of these hard hook baits on, and I'll just tip them off with a whittled down pop-up. And the pop-ups, just to save a bit of space in your bag, what I tend to do is I use these little test tube things, and these are the tootie pineapples. Just takes up a little bit less room in your bag. So bringing pot after pot, if you've got a couple of different pots of pop-ups, just stick them in these. How many are you going to use really in a 24-hour session? run you through the end tackle items that I use. Very reliable stuff. It's never let me down. I'm a consultant for rigmarole, and these are the pattern of hooks that I use. They're the Excalibur wide gapes and the straight points. I use size 6s and size 4s. Really sharp from the packet. If you're into sharpening your hooks, they sharpen really nice as well. Then I've got probably my favourite hook link, and probably the only hook link you're ever going to need, in my opinion, is Hydrolink. I use that. You can break it, you can pivot it, you can use it for pop-ups. It's got a fluorocarbon inner as well, and a Dyneema outer. It comes in all different colours. The only other time I might use something different, hook link wise, is Skimfall. I use the Skimfall. That's a little bit more supple, and I tend to use that in situations like today where you've got a dirtier lake bed, and it sort of takes the contours on a bit better. Check them out at Rigmarole. They've got a Facebook page and obviously a website. I've caught so many fish on it, up to £60 in the UK. Right, my 24 hours has come to an end. The sun's going down now, so I'm going to quickly wrap up before it gets too cold and go home in the warm. There's always another time, and it's only going to warm up from now on. Please subscribe in 2023 to our channel. There's going to be plenty more videos coming. Cheers.